Hi, this is Mr. Sakya. So in this video, I'm going to talk about creative destructions and destructive innovations. So the creative destructions is driven by innovations and led by entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurial thinkers. The market dynamics of the modern economy, driven in part by rapid emerging technologies, are changing so quickly that any organizations that fail to keep the pace will quickly be made obsolete. So let's explore this concept in detail. So it'll take over the screen. Creative destructions and disruptive innovations. This is chapter 14, innovation in business. So by the end of this video, so you will be able to define innovations and provide types of innovation. Describe the difference between creative destructions and disruptive innovation. So to do all these things, first we need to make sure that we discovery of the main problem, and then defining those problems and develop it more in details, and we have to deliver the solutions, right? So when you're doing this process, you have to do the research. So once you have a lot of research, then you have an ideation phase, then we'll do some kind of prototypings and then implement in our workplace. So in order this to happen, there should be a concept or the model, we call it double diamond model, which is divergence and convergence of your ideas is very important, right? We have learned this one before. So innovation in business. So let's start with that one. So whenever we talk about the innovations, is the process of creating something new. That's we call it innovation, right? Something new, something fresh. The last centuries has witnessed explosive innovations with dynamic result. Innovations makes our lives easier, enhances our productivity, improves our health, entertain us, and broaden our ability to communicate and connect on a global scale. So virtually every improvements in the quality of living in the past centuries can be traced back to innovations at some level. So innovation is a broad, diverse, complex, unpredictable, and widely studied force in business. So innovation serves as a catalyst for growth in business and economics. Its impact can transform virtually any industry from government to education, even the delivery of healthcare. So let's talk about this type of innovations. Technological innovations in the recent past have been groundbreaking. Innovations can come in many forms. So it can be a unique incentive programs to reward high performing employees, or it can be a process such as lean methodology or model which streamlines workflow and eliminates waste to keep costs low while maintaining quality. We call this lean methodology, right? It's also a type of innovation. So the innovation can be incremental, such as the slight variations on the existing products formulations, right? Like adding a new color or the fragrances, or groundbreaking products that revolutionize an industry. Think like maybe an iPod, right? So innovation can respond to a clearly defined problem or create a complete paradigm shift when the problem itself is undefined. The benefit of innovations are not limited to new product development. So the model of innovations are just about as numerous as the objectives they are intended to serve. Innovations can improve almost every aspects of the product or service lifecycle, from business model innovations to the pricing strategies, marketing, and service delivery. So Amazon.com transformed e-commerce with its innovative distributive channels, making a huge array of products available nationwide virtually overnight. So it's a big achievement. Innovations happen there, right? So the innovation doesn't always produce something entirely new. Sometimes innovations makes an existing products or service better. Small entrepreneurial businesses often develop new products that are components of the products that larger, more established firms manufacture and sell under an established brand name, right? Because the entrepreneurs, they normally start with the small startups, right? They have some new ideas, develop it, and then sell it to the big companies. So there we can also see the open innovations happening in all the big companies where they cooperates collaboration happening with these small firms. So improvements to everyday products such as DVD players, digital cameras, and the prescriptions drugs are not unique to the companies that sell them, right? Innovation is happening in all the places. Cutting edge components, parts, or pioneering research and developments were provided by smaller firms with innovative ideas, right? Because they see everything from the fresh eyes, new idea generations happening there. So, cutting edge technologies are also being used in these big companies from the collaboration with the small entrepreneurial companies, firms. Some small firms have built their entire business models around developing and producing products that help large, well known companies be more efficient or effective and ultimately more competitive. So, how does innovation happen? One of the best known theories of innovation is the concept of creative destructions. So the Joseph Scrub Peters was a renowned economist who first coined the term, which is creative destructions. He argued that innovative thinkers develop new products and technologies that, over time, make obsolete a product or the process that had once dominated its market. So, how does innovation happen then? The innovations often start at the lower end of the market. Lower priced goods or the components of the high end products, for example, and slowly works up to the higher end, taking market shares from the bigger players as processes and the products improve. So the word processor made typewriter and often their manufacturers obsolete, right? Now we don't use typewriter anymore. The word processor has taken its own. We don't see typewriter anywhere. That's obsolete now. So the world-renowned innovation expert Clayton Christensen wrote about similar theme in his best-selling book The Innovator's Dilemma, right? He called this his theory disruptive innovation, but the essence is the same. Innovation starts with disrupting the old way of doing things, right? So at first the disruptions may be too small to be noticed by the established player. However, as the disruptor continue to improve processes and develop more complex products or services, the establishments must either take notice or risk becoming obsolete. So the managers need to always look for the trends and what's happening, right? Otherwise they may be obsolete. Creative destructions is driven by innovation and led by entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial thinkers. Some innovation scholars believe that the entrepreneurs as the innovator is the essence of capitalism. That means we should make a capital of innovators or the entrepreneurs thinking so that new things comes in the market. So we can capitalize that kind of way of thinking. Specifically, the innovators shows that the better products, process, or mode of organizations can be efficient and profitable, and that elevates the entire economy. Better products drive consumers' demand, which in turn create new jobs and the new industries that grow the overall economy. So the question is innovation always good? So there is, however, a flip side to these benefits. The process of creating destruction destroys those organizations and brands who suddenly find their technologies and the system outmoded and unprofitable. So the businesses shut down, people lose jobs. The automations of many manufacturing processes had a dramatic impact on the labor market. The era of ambiguous technology and the information sharing sometimes comes with the feeling of loss of individual privacy. The market dynamics of the modern economy, driven in part by rapidly emerging technology, are changing so quickly that any organizations that fails to keep pace will quickly be made obsolete. So you have to be careful on that, all the managers and operating managers. In this environment, business leaders constantly need to question perceptions and assumptions. So what they believe, what they think their business, and what they are doing it. So what is the main problem they are solving it? What is their perceptions, assumptions need to recalibrate again and again. Sometimes the old rule do not apply to the emerging problem in the face of rapid innovation, right? Such swift change sometimes leaves organizations and their managers in the positions of continually doing things they have little experience with or have never done before at all. So that's why it's a completely new area, right? Unprecedented explorations of the knowledge. We have to keep on searching, right? So we can know that what can be the new pride. So is innovation always good? So the ability to quickly adapt to change may dictate survival or the failures in the economy of innovations, right? How quickly you can adapt, that can determine whether the company can survive for how long. Managing organizational change, including innovations, is now one of the most critical managerial competencies in any organizations. That's why innovation always being given highlighted, or they are putting in the strategies of the companies, so that there is a separate departments, or they are being in the strategies of all the managers KPI. Innovation through design and agile thinking is the key, where the managers and operation managers can use the prospects and the way of thinking so that they can develop some new products and the services, processes, right? To do that, as I said before, they need to first discover the main problem in the industry, right? Or whichever company you're working, you have to define it very clearly, right? So as a small baby, you have to look the problem in the different perspective. You have to develop what are the things can be done, and finally you have to deliver the products or services which is relevant to the particular trends. So to do that, you have to do some kind of research. So when you're doing the research, there will be a lot of ideations happening, right? So once you have an ideation process happen, then you can do some kind of prototyping. Then once your prototyping is successful, then we can implement into our everyday operations. So implementation is very important also. To do all these things, we need the concept, we call it double diamond model. So that is divergence and convergence of the ideas is very important, right? So this kind of team building activities and the way of thinking should be happening in all organizations to keep up with the new trends and to keep up to be competitive in the market. So let's see check our knowledge whether we understood or not. So my first question is, the following is an example of an incremental innovation. A, the iPod. B, Southwest Airlines bags fly free campaign. C, adding fragrance to an existing cleaning product. And D, the internet. So you can pause the video for a while and think about the answer. So my next question, innovation can be A, in response to a problem that is not well defined. B, all of these are correct. C, process driven. D, incremental. So again, you can pause the video for a while and think about the answer. My last question, the model which streamlines workflow and eliminates waste to keep costs low while maintaining quality is known as what? A, lean methodology. B, creative destruction. C, disruptive innovation. D, incremental methodology. Again, you can pause the video for a while and think about the answer. Thank you for watching this video, and I wish you the best of success. Thank you.